Today's music has something going for it that the music of yesterday never did. And what it has is its ability or its inability to challenge you. And the fact that it doesn't challenge you is why it is able to be shared and spread as much as it's able to be. I mean, today's music doesn't challenge you politically. It doesn't challenge you socially. It doesn't challenge your ear as a listener. There's no techniques or approaches that you're hearing that's necessarily different from any artist that you heard last week or last month, because everybody pretty much sounds the same. It's not even questioning your attention span. It's not challenging that. It's not asking you to be pushed as a listener in order to adapt to this new sound that you're hearing. So because of that, it's able to be shared a lot more. It's no different than viral videos with people just falling flat on their faces. There's no language whatsoever to these videos. It's universally funny to see gravity shit on somebody, and there's no language barrier. So it doesn't challenge language either, so it's able to be shared a lot more. I see videos all the time on Instagram where people contrast mumble rappers with traditional rappers. You'll have a guy on the right who's doing his basic mumble rap routine, and then you have a guy who comes in and spits a spiritual, lyrical, theorical miracle. This particular one that I want to show you, and remember, as I said, there's an ocean of these things all over online, but this is one that I was able to pluck from YouTube because I saw it on Instagram just the other day, and it involves an artist called Bazanji, and he's spitting to Kodak Black's Tunnel Vision, and check it out.
I've been wondering when they gonna stop making stupid people famous. They gon' catch me outside with the fans who been waiting. They been hating while I'm taking the game and no, I'm not playing. I've been patiently waiting and staying awake till the AM. And now people trying to tell me I'm a remix rapper. My discography could probably write like 16 chapters, and I got 16s on 16s. That's 2-3 backwards. I feel like Jordan on the beat. They put my jersey in the rafters, and my phone is waterproof cause all these ladies been so thirsty. I got my future planned and I retire when I'm 30. I'm Curry with a shot. I'm not surrounded by these all-stars. You call these people rappers, but it's funny, they got no bars. They got cars, they got chains, but in 10 years they no names. I'm trying to be forever remembered like Kurt Cobain. I'm feeling the beat when I flow, and I'm knowing the way that they go when I'm making it.
Now the title of this video is "Why is Kodak Black famous and this nigga isn't?" I think the misunderstanding that we've had as traditionalists is we think that being good should have some connection to being popular. And I think that's the promise that hip hop has kind of sold us over the years, and maybe the waters have been muddied and people think that the two are connected, and they never have been really. If this was a perfect world, I think Joyner Lucas would probably be at the top of the charts. You know what I'm saying? I think Christopher Rivers would get a lot more love. But that's not the case. The rappers who are technically sound aren't going to be popular because there is too much of a challenge. There's too much of an educational challenge that goes into it, you know? And you say, what do you mean by educational? Well, whenever you have a product and you bring a product to a consumer and you are trying to provide a service to them, which maybe they didn't, a title, for example. Title, it was an educational challenge. It was an educational challenge to tell the consumer lossless quality is something that you need or something that you want. Maybe there was a small percentage of people that had this issue, but far and wide, it wasn't a complaint that most music fans had. So there was an educational process to teach the listener or to teach the consumer that, yes, there is a big difference between MP3 and lossless. Come to Tidal and spend your money with us. Now, you have these MCs who are very technically sound, as Bazanji seems to be, even though he finished that freestyle with something that was too much of akin to Logic. You see how technically sound he is, and there's an educational process that goes along with it. When somebody's listening to you for the first time, it doesn't matter if you have that ear for that sort of complex sound. Your attention span is being challenged. You have to listen to what he has to say at the velocity of which he's spitting it, which will cause you to rewind it and listen to it again before you might even get to enjoy the thing. You're examining it. So it's an educational process. So there's a challenge that's there that was never given to you by Kodak Black's tunnel vision. It doesn't have to be. You know, now that everyone's pretty much direct to consumer, it's a decision that all artists make now, whether do I want to challenge, do I want to sound like everyone else, or do I want to veer off into some new waters? Now, record labels in the past were able to control that, and, you know, they pretty much contrived the game into their own little circus where, you know, it was a copycat system. And that's fine because there's so much money that goes into that. And these record labels were taking so many chances. But now, since you're direct to consumer and Kodak Black can reach you on Facebook, he can reach you on Instagram, he can reach you on YouTube, this is his decision to pretty much be cookie cutter and sound the same as everyone else, to not challenge you. Probably because he's playing to that strength. He's playing to the strength of being able to be shared, because obviously with the technological world, it's a whole different animal. Why is it that we confuse being good with being popular? Is this too much of a virtuous hip hop head argument? Is it too much of the people who sound the best should be heard by all the people? I mean, why? I would argue that's great, but why would we turn our back on just human nature, on the fact that it is not an inconvenience to listen to something that doesn't really have a lot of effort, to listen to something that doesn't challenge you intellectually? It's easier to share that with other people. So that's sort of how human nature works. It's a lot easier to digest. Whereas if you listen to Joyner Lucas or Bazanji, there's a longer process that you would have to sift through the music before even sharing it in the first place. I want to know what you guys think on the matter. Please let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time.